I want to talk a little bit on this rainy morning about the notion of the various iterations that take place in a human lifetime. I don't know if you've ever sat down to try to write a story, be it a short story or a full-length novel, but the first draft is usually shit. That's because you're taking your outline, your basic story structure, and you're trying to connect the dots in the easiest way imaginable. You're just trying to get that first pass out of the way, just trying to see it through to some form of completion. I've heard William O. Kennedy, who wrote one of my favorite novels of all time, which is entitled Ironweed, say that this was his process. That you start with the first draft, and it's really, really shitty. Then you go back over, and you look at this draft after a period of time with some perspective, and you start trying to connect the dots and try to achieve some form of cohesion. Then your version becomes less shitty, but it's still shitty. So then you have to come back again. Paul Thomas Anderson, the very talented filmmaker, describes this as a process of ironing. You're going over it a little bit, and then a little bit further, and then a little bit further, and a little bit further each time. I'm bringing this up as a metaphor for our existence. Because, no doubt, you have regrets. That means you've lived your life. And if you're looking back on previous versions of yourself, as you've been writing your own life story in an attempt to find some cohesion and connect the dots, you'll find that there are decisions you've made in the past that you would never make today. Things you did that just sort of either bemuse, horrify, or confound you. And it's the same with writing a series of drafts within a story. Why did I make this decision? How is it that I ever could have allowed myself to be treated this way? How is it that I ever could have treated someone else this way? Well, these were previous drafts that you had yet to gain perspective upon and improve upon. That's the beauty behind it, is that you're working towards a state of improving. Now, the good news, and perhaps for some of you the bad news, is that you never perfect your life story. You're always in the process of going over it once again with a newfound perspective and trying to make things better. But there will be various drafts to your life. There will be twists and turns and unexpected key players, supporting players. You think the story is going to go in one direction. It ends up going in a completely different direction. You think that you're the author of the story all the time, and then you find that maybe more often you were a supporting player in other people's narratives, either to your benefit, more likely to your detriment. So this is all about allowing yourself to accept and make peace with the fact that there will be numerous drafts. There were numerous drafts in the past regarding your life story. There will be numerous drafts to come. That's about it. Kissy kissy. That's actually not it. I'm forgetting a key point. The reason that it's important to look back on your previous drafts with understanding and even some amount of compassion is because you were doing the best you could at the time. With each draft, you were doing the best you could to make that as good as you possibly could, given the tools and the knowledge that you had, which was admittedly quite limited compared to what it is now. So if you could go back and see a paper that you wrote or a book report you did when you were in third grade, you'd probably look upon it as adorable, and you might try to see the strength within it. Oh, there's some potential here and there. Do the same with yourself, because life's hard enough. So, anyway, yeah, you did the best you could with each draft, and just keep doing the best you can. Now that's it, okay? Kissy kissy.